What's going on, world of YouTube? This A New Breed, dropping another video. So for this video, this is something I take for granted, so I never made a video on it, but I believe it's of the utmost importance. This is my GYAH bag, Get Your Ass Home bag. Now this is for my kids. It just gets dropped in their book bag, and it's just odds and ends to get them home. Now I will give a disclaimer. My kids do know that there is a meetup spot. Of course, they know where to go, and they also have a piece of paper with printed out directions on how to get back to the house. Not the exact address, because if they have a prepper kit and they have something with the exact address on it, believe me, most people will put two and two together, but it'll give a roundabout location. Now, my kids' schools are probably about 3 minutes apart where they can walk, meet up at the location, and start heading home with the friends. Now, we have let the other adults know in the general location that if there was something to go on, each parent has everyone's numbers, but also we know that our kids will be in a meeting spot for one of the parents to pick up and contact. Also, if something goes on like an EMP where cars aren't running, the kids know how to get home, and they know how to get home in a group. So each of the children knows each other's address. So if there's ever an emergency medical situation, one of the other children can give an address without putting it on the piece of paper. So therefore, it's not easy to find your preps or your stash. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, this is the bag. It's just a simple Ziploc bag. Now we're going to go through it, and I'm going to show you the items that currently are in here. Now, first up, we got this. This is a headlamp flashlight, LED rechargeable. Has many different settings. This thing is set up for light, low, dim, sides. Then you also have red, and you have your SOS. So just in case you've got your hands full, you can still do a SOS, not necessarily put yourself out of, anything. Next up, this. These, you can find these kits on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll do a later video that will have everything in there. Now, these are pretty cool, but I've taken out some of the things that are in here due to the fact that these things do come with a knife in them, and they also come with this. This is a spoon and a whistle. Problem is it's actually a knife. So therefore, I don't want you to pack anything in your kids' bags that could resemble a weapon or get them in trouble for having a weapon. Let's be honest here. That's just not smart in these days and times. So that, always exclude that. Always exclude the knife that comes in there. Now I'm going to give you what I've packed in here for my children. Now, first things first, they've got Band-Aids, a couple different sizes. Band-Aids, gauze, small ones, bigger ones, a couple different sizes just in case. You never know what's going to happen. Next up, paracord bracelet. This is actually pretty cool. It has a compass on it. It's actually got a little flint fire starter on it. Once again, this can't be mistaken for a weapon. It's just a paracord. You never know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. I'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared, so I make sure that they have this stuff. Next up, compass. Only reason I make sure that there's more than one compass is because if anything goes down, shit hits the fan, EMP, cell towers go out, they can always resort to this to get home, amongst many other things. And the reason why I always pack duplicates is because you never know who else you can help. Having an extra and being able to hand it out to somebody can help them get back home. Because let's be honest, as parents, we're terrified that something would happen to our kids. So therefore, making sure that they have the best chance to make it home in a shit hit the fan situation, it only increases their chances and our chances of not having that anxiety, that panic, and everything else going on, running around trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. Always have a plan. Next up, this military grade pen. Military grade pen. It's not going to bust, snap, or do anything. Of course, it has a pin on one side, but has a glass breaker on the other side. Again, it's a little bit pointy, but make sure this isn't declared a weapon. Next up, these. These are just on a key ring. Just portable, but they're real cool because flathead and Phillips head. Of course, you never know what you're going to need. I know some people may look and be like, okay, this is a little overkill. But my kids have a 3 to 5 mile walk, depending on where they're at, to get back home. And let's be honest, walking, that's a little bit of a trip. Also, stay away from the freeways. That's another thing. Take back streets or ways you can get home to avoid, due to the fact when stuff initially happens, it's not going to be a shtf situation and everyone's going to be completely flipping out. There's going to be a period of relaxation and be like, okay, well, what is this? There's going to be a period of trying to figure out what's going on. During that time is when it's important to make it back home. Now, next up, emergency blanket. Just in case it gets cold, wrap yourself up. Emergency blanket helps hold the heat in. But I make sure my kids are pretty bundled up if it's the winter time and they're going to school. So, last in this case, another flashlight. This flashlight is to be able to give somebody, because the other ones are rechargeable. This one, battery powered. But if you can increase someone else's chance of survival, always try. Always try to make sure that my kids know that other kids have parents too. And making it home is of the utmost importance. So if you can increase their chances by giving them band-aids or flashlights or helping them out with a cut, scrape, or bruise, please do it. Just due to the fact, I've got a lot more of this stuff at home. So if need be, once you get back, I'm completely prepped out. Well, not completely prepped out. You can never be completely prepped. So let me put all this stuff back in this case, and we're going to move on to what else is in the bag. Okay, now next up in the bag. This is actually real cool. Now this, solar powered hand crank radio. It also takes batteries. Now this is really nice. Flashlight up front, flashlight in the back. Of course, it has the hand crank, so you can power and generate power through the hand crank. I make sure to keep mine charged. I charge them every Saturday or Sunday. It doesn't take much time. These are lithium-ion batteries. So to be honest with you, they don't lose charge very easily. I've had these things sit up for a year and still have a good charge. Now, one of the important things that you have on here is in the back, you have a USB port to make sure that you can charge a phone or whatever other object you may need to charge in order to make it back home, or to make an emergency call, or if somebody else needs a little bit of juice so they can make an emergency call back home. Let's be honest, some of these kids nowadays, they do not keep chargers on them. And this is automatically tuned. It's already preset for the Emergency Weather Association.
Cloudy. Lows in the lower 30s.
It has an antenna in the back, hand grip,
partly cloudy and
clip onto the belt loop.
Clearing.
Now, the reason why I make sure it's already on the emergency broadcast system is because all they got to do is kick it on and they know what's happening. Now, the reason why I pack this is because if cell phone towers go out or something goes on with the cell phones, or for some awkward reason they shut off the cell phones, there's always a way to make sure that you can still get some form of news to know what's happening. And oh, this also, if lost and need to be found, I mean the individual, or you're in SOS mode and you need to track attention, it has a small thing on the bottom. Different ones are very different. This one, I'm gonna play it for a quick second because it's annoying as hell. That's loud, believe me. It'll get the attention of whoever's around. Next up in the bag, antibacterial alcohol wipes. These, of course, for sanitizing any cuts, scrapes, bruises, or if you have to go ahead and take care of your hands. Now, for, you can buy those for $1. Getting those for $1 or whatever you get them a pack, you can do however you want to. Next up, sanitizing wipes. These are a little bit different from the alcohol base, just regular sanitizing wipes. Keeping these around, once again, is of the utmost importance because you never know who you're going to have to help. I cannot reiterate that enough. In a survival situation, even though you are trying to maintain and you make it home, you never know who else you can make home. Because if you know someone who's a prepper and you're a prepper, sometimes it's best to pass on the blessing, especially when you're dealing with the young ones. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I make sure my kids have an abundance of Band-Aids, wipes, sanitizing wipes. And then when we go in here, we also have hand sanitizer. I make sure they keep that on them too. And I go down to HSU, which is a little health food store, and I buy small pocket-sized Dr. Bronner's Castile soap, just in case they have to wash their hands, wash out a cut, anything like that. That's always good to have. Now, this in the bag, 4 pairs of gloves. Once again, you never know who you're going to help, and you don't want to handle anything, or if someone gets a cut, nick, or scrape, you don't want your kids, of course, being the good children they are, wanting to help somebody, you don't want them to deal with any blood or anything like that. So always alert your kids if they're going to have to deal with the cut, scrape, or bruise and they're trying to help someone, keep a couple extra pairs of gloves with them. Generally, I pack about 4 pairs. But again, this is just the GYAH bag. So now that that stuff is back, we're going to sit that back in the bag. Now there is an object that I keep outside of the bag. And I keep that outside of the bag just due to the fact it just slides in the side of the bag. This slides into the side of the book bag. So this whole bag is in the book bag. And also we have this. This is a 100,000 gallon Sawyer mini filter. This actually has a pouch inside where you could fill it with water and drink out of it, and it's got a syringe for backfill. I keep it in the original pouch just due to the fact that it makes life a lot easier when it comes to keeping it together, misplacing one thing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm one of them guys where I just lose shit. It just happens. I can't even help it. I know where I put it down, I come back and it's gone. So it's better to stay in packaging. So therefore, they can fill these up from whatever water source and drink from it till they get home. Now we also pack, in the bag, I also pack masks. It depends. My boy has black masks. My little girl has the pink mask. She just likes them, just dust masks. So keep them on. Once again, never ever know what's going to happen. So I'll go ahead and make a list, and I'll put some of the links for some of this stuff in the description. I'll probably make a more in-depth, detailed video that shows every single thing in a list. This was kind of on the fly, so I do apologize. But I just want to make sure this gets out there. With the crazy ass times we're having right now, pardon my language through the entire video, but through the crazy times we're currently having, it's better safe than sorry. And it's better to have something small for your kids to prep, something that's not very heavy. All this stuff doesn't weigh anything. Just gets thrown in their bag and they're good to go. So always be sure to help who you can. Make sure your children have a game plan. Make sure your children have a BYAH bag. And that's one of the things that's very important. Know where your kids are going to be at. Have a pickup plan. And my kids understand that because they're 3 to 5 miles away, if I can't make it there within a reasonable time frame and you feel like you were in danger, go link up with everybody and you guys make it home. Don't worry, an adult will walk you guys the rest of the way home or however you guys got to get there. But don't split up, increase your chances of safety, and make sure you make it safely back. These are very, very uncertain times. So that's just what I want to say. If there's anything you think I forgot, or if you want me to go more in depth to whatever kind of bug out bag, or even if you just want to sit down, ask a question and chop it up, you can hop on Zoom, we can talk, whole 9 yards. Maybe I can help you out with your preparedness plan. So if you're ready, you really ain't got to get ready. But realistically, please understand that these young ones, no matter how much you train them, they may not be prone to understanding what's going on. So therefore, give them the best situation, run them over the drills, make sure they fully understand it. No matter how much you understand something, sometimes you can always mess up. I'll be doing a live a little later. This is a guaranteed live. And this one's called Everybody's Got a Plan Till They Get Punched in the Face. You'll understand when I do the video if you didn't understand by the saying. So therefore, please make sure you prep, you plan, and this bag just doesn't have to be for the youngins. This could be for family members, friends, cousins, co-workers, different people. Tell them to pack a GYH bag, just something to get them home. You know, this just isn't for them. So therefore, I do want to thank y'all for taking the time to sit down and listen and hear me ramble, because it's generally what I'm good at. Now, I will start going live and doing questions and answers if you need, or I'll just ramble on about preparedness. So y'all have a good one. Y'all stay blessed. This is A New Breed signing out.